Happy day and welcome everybody. Okay, so we are doing the Spec 20 lab. This is so cool. This is actually part 3 of the lab. So what we've already done here is we've created a whole bunch of dilutions. And so what I have here is I have my distilled water. I have a 0.01 molar. And let me kind of just bring this down here. I've got a 0.01 molar. I've got a 0.02 molar, 0.025, 0.03, 0.04, 0.05. And this is my unknown, and I happen to have unknown, I'm just calling it unknown B, and so this is the one that we're trying to figure out the concentration of. Now you could use colorimetry and try to figure out where does it fall based on the colors of it, but we're going to actually use the spectrophotometer to try to figure this out. Okay, so here's how the machine works. This is part 3 again. So part 2, the group's already figured out that 410 was a peak when they ran the 0.02 molar, and 490 was actually a valley. That was, so we have our max and our min, which actually the max is actually a lower wavelength, but those are our two wavelengths that we're going to end up using to run all of them, because this is where the spec is most sensitive for the solution that we have. Okay, so those are the two wavelengths that we're going to use. So this is pretty easy. This part's pretty fast. So all I'm going to do is, with nothing inside of it, I want this left side here to line up with the 0% transmittance. So I want 0 transmittance, nothing being transmitted when there is nothing inside of there. Let me make sure that my 410 nanometers, so I'm actually at, let's move this to 410 nanometers, and now we are lined up right at the 0. Okay, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put my distilled water inside of here, and I want the right side now to read 0 absorbance or 100%. I want everything transmitted, nothing absorbed with distilled water in it. And so now if I put that right there, I am all set with my distilled water. Since my wavelength is set, all I'm going to do is just simply start running these. So I've got 0.01 molar, and when I put this in, it looks like my absorbance is at a 0.161 is what I'm going to write down. I'll show you this right after. So I've got 0.161 is my absorbance. Take this one out. Let's put in the 0.02. 0.02 looks like it is a 0.319. 0.319. Then we've got, put in our, I do have a 0.025. So let's do a 0.025. The more you have, the better you're going to be, because you're going to need to do a line of best fit. I'm looking at a 0.389. 0.389. Okay, let's go to pull this one out. Now we're at a 0.03. And our 0.03 looks like a 0.472. 0.472. Let's get a 0.04 in here. 0.04 looks like we're going to go with 0.680. 0.680. And let's throw in the 0.05. So now, this is kind of interesting. You actually want them to be fairly dilute solutions. Otherwise, you're not going to get a good reading. And so I'm already at this point, it looks like a 0.80 right on the dot. It looks like a 0.80. But we can see that these are low, very high lots of dilution, high dilution. So that's what it works best for. And now let's throw the unknown in. Here's our unknown B. And unknown B is at a 0.49, let's say 0.492. 0.492, and this is our unknown B. Okay, and so now let's run this again, but let's run it at our max, so that's going to be at 490. So here's where I'm writing these all down, and you'll be able to just screenshot that or just copy those numbers down if you haven't already. Okay, so let's try this again. Now we've got, let's move this to 490. There we go. We are at 490. And now I'm going to take this out and let's put just air, and I am right there at the 0. Let's put our distilled water in and move this back a little bit here. And now I am right at the 0 there. Pull out my water. And let's go ahead and start. Here we go. 0.01. 0.01. I am looking at an absorbance of 0.038. 0.038. Okay, take this one out. Let's get our 0.02. 0.02 looks like 0.0. We're still in the 0.0. 0.071. 0.071. Okay, these are some low numbers here. Okay, let's get our 0.025. 0.025 looks like 0.09 right on the dot. 0.090. 0.090. Okay, let's get our 0.03. 0.03 looks like 0.123. 0.123. 0.123. Pull that one out. Let's get our 0.04 in here. 0.04 looks like 0.185. 0.185. All right. Now we're at our 0.05. And 0.05 is reading exactly 0.200. 0.200. And our fancy unknown, which looks just like the other ones, but we're trying to figure out the concentration of. And this one is 0.120, like right on the dot. 0.120. Okay, so here are our values here. If you missed any of them, just hold it right there for a quick second. And so what you'll do is you'll end up graphing this, but you only want one graph, one plot, okay? So make sure you're not doing two separate ones. And so what you should end up with is two lines of best fit, and then you can use that graph to try to figure out where your unknown falls and what your concentration would be then of your unknown using these two values, since you don't know the concentration of those, but you know the concentration of these. Okay, all right, happy day, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this lab and working with the spectrophotometer. Take care.